Well, we made it to Baraboo. Just got here, got it unloaded. Now we gotta go figure out where to go. Never been to this show before, so we don't have any idea where to go to register or anything. Should be fun though. It was raining this morning, the skies are parting. There's a huge line of cars coming in, so I think the crowd's still gonna be pretty good. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be a fun weekend. We got Norm's 612 here. We've shown this before, I'm sure, on the channel. It's always nice to look at this stuff again.
This is the guy that you bought the 200 from? Seaward flying left and right. I'm like, yeah. Allis goes, hey, I gave that guy your number. He's going to call you. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, then we had the thing on the tree. We're good to the shop. Get started up better.
Very nice. Always happy to see 612s out. So this 612 is at the Baraboo, Wisconsin show. We're just checking out some of the details on it. Farmer modifications. This one's got a little oil pump right off the belt that picks up from the drain of the transmission and pumps it to the top of your differential and your transmission. That's not original, but somebody added that at some point. A lot of things just to keep it going. They replaced this shaft with just some shaft they had around, so that's all not original. Added this piece of sheet metal between the linkages, I suppose, so they wouldn't catch. Original radiator though, like mine. It's got the round tubes in it. They got this cap that's not original on there, but and it's been patched over the years, but it is an original radiator. Hand crank with a spinner. They're missing the inner lip like mine was. Missing the air cleaner, incorrect carburetor, incorrect magneto. It's got the right petcock and everything else. Possibly changed manifold. Usually you see these with this boss like this on like power units. I don't know for sure, I can't say 100% that they never came on the tractors that way, but as far as I know, that might not be original. Note what I'm assuming is an original hood with the two holes, a little further proof, like I have that reinforcing ring on mine. That's why I did that. I found a few examples that have that. Missing the toolbox door. This gear has been broken and fixed, and it's been welded up and wore out. There's a lot of hours on that steering box. Been broken and welded. But at least they have a steering box. It's more than I started with. Should be the grease cup here. This rear sulky is homemade. That's not original. It's actually got the original bracket here. That's only the second original one of those I've seen. And I just noticed it has a bracket underneath the seat pan here. I wonder if there's any originality to that, or if that's something that's been added. I'll have to check that out more. See if I can find a casting number on that. think this unit runs. I think it's just a static display. But there's a lot of potential here. Pretty complete unit. Critters have been leaving their acorns. Original gas cap. What's the number on the engine? Probably can't read it, it's so covered in paint. Looks like maybe a 13175 if I had to guess. Maybe 18175. I don't want to scratch the paint off. Looks like the serial number tag is missing, unfortunately. Pretty nice unit. Could be fixed up into a really nice unit. Let's move the 612 in the tent here for the night. Might move it out again in the morning, but there's a chance of rain tonight, so I figured as long as there's room in the tent here, I might as well move it in. Had an awesome day here at Baraboo, Wisconsin. GOTO 2022. A lot of fun. This is the first time we've been to this show. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but there's a lot of nice stuff here to see. I would highly recommend, if you haven't made it, come to this show. I mean, we haven't seen nearly all of it today. We probably won't all weekend long. Gas turned off. We should be running out of gas here in time. So here's the much waited to see David Dickmeyer's industrial 612. Pretty awesome. Did an awesome job restoring this thing. He completely went through the Russell road grader as well, rebuilt that entire thing, rebuilt the entire tractor. It's like me, it's not quite done yet, but he's pretty close. He's actually going to finish me done to the finish line, because he's just got a couple little things to wrap up and he'll be pretty much done. It's exciting to see this in person though, because he's out in Maryland, and me being in Wisconsin and North Dakota, obviously I can't just hop over to see this. So he's been, sending me pictures along the way, and of course we've been in communication, but getting to see something in real life is always a lot more fun. Very nicely done. Maybe if we get a chance, we'll have to get with David and he can tell us a little bit more about the history of this thing too, because he's got a family connection to this thing. It's been in his family for quite a few years. But he'll be able to tell you more about that than I can. So. It's pretty cool. We got this one, we got mine, we got Norm's, and the Baraboo one. So 4 of them here together. So we at least tied our record of Hutchinson last year, where we had 4 612s together in one place. We were hoping to have more together this year, but because of uncontrollable circumstances, a couple of people couldn't make it, unfortunately. But otherwise we potentially could have had 6 or possibly even more here, so we'll have to try that in a future year. See if I can get some of this without the glare too bad on it. These are blown up sales advertisements he has on a board here. Pretty interesting. So basically the only real differences between an industrial and the ag version like I have is it's got these bigger wheels, flat spokes, bigger, heavier hubs, wider wheels. Must be a little bit different axles too, because of the way it mounts down there. So that's an industrial thing. And the drawbar here is different. than the ag version. It's got these little ears, I call them, on the bottom. It's shorter. It's more designed to pull like a grader. And then it has this turnbuckle that goes up underneath to the bracket underneath the differential to give it added support there. So you're not putting all your pulling on the main pivot point there. But this was kind of a setup thing, you know. It's not a Allis grader, it's a Russell road grader. But that was, they must have had some type of an agreement when they produced these new, because that's how a lot of these industrials were set up. I'm not sure if they all were or not, but there's only 2 of these industrials known. David has one and Norm has the other. So yeah, pretty awesome. Mine and David's together here after the parade at Baraboo. Little photo op session. The man himself is doing the same thing, taking a little video. So this is Norm's 1830. Pretty neat. It's a very early version of the 1830s because it still has the Detroit lubricator instead of an oil pump. This was how you oiled the engine. So all these lines went down to the spots in the block. There's no oil pump in the engine itself. And the early ones has got two lower pans. Different. And the internals of the engine are different too, from what I've been told. There's more little drip cups or whatever for where the oil goes in. They got away from that very early on though, because it was kind of a failure point, because you forgot to put oil in that lubricator. Your engine didn't get oil and you blew up your engine. So a lot of the early ones actually don't have original blocks, or they have been fixed because the engines went bad on them. This has got an early -4 block in it, and engine serial number 5398 matches the tractor serial number 5398 because the early ones matched. At some point they got away from that. I haven't nailed down exactly what year, but at some point they switched the engine numbers to start numbering at, we figure, like 30,000, and went up from there. Another difference to note is that the belt pulley brake is on the outside instead of the inside of the pulley like you typically see on the long fenders. It has the example of the remnants of the early side curtains would have hung on that piece of wood. There would have been cloth curtains that hung down the sides, and it looks like they probably would have latched on the bottom there, and I'm not sure if they had a spot in the back here or not. I don't know if maybe that would have been a mounting point possibly, or if that might be part of the brake. I'm not an expert on these. It's got the 3-compartment single tank. It's got the early exhaust. You can have adjustments here to let a certain amount of exhaust gases into your intake to warm it up. And then this is actually wound backwards, and normally it would have shot that way, and then a pipe would have connected to here, there again to connect your exhaust and your intake to warm up your intake. Dual bowl Kingston carburetor. Start on gas, switch to kerosene. It has the early air cleaner on it, which only the very early ones had as well. Got the early front hubs with the pressed caps on it, which are the same part as the hubcaps on the 612, I believe. And the later long fenders use that same part as the cap of the breather. That when this went away, they put a breather there in place of the oiler. All these little differences that are kind of neat to look at. The early 1830s had this cast radiator. The sides, the top, bottom are all cast. Here's the Bennett air cleaner. It's the same brand, Bennett, is like the air cleaners on the 612, but this is a different version, different model, let's call it. There's differences over the years on the ends of these steering rods. I couldn't tell you which years had what, but they changed over the years. This here, I don't know if this is original or if this is something that's been added, but that's different. That might be an early 1830 thing. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Got the early hubs, we've talked about them in past videos. for the extension wheels. Only the early ones had this seat pedestal. Very neat. Awesome to see this. Glad he brought it. Still got the I don't know, it's not, I want to call it turnbuckle. It's not a turnbuckle. On the hitch there. Clevis, I guess clevis would be the right word. It's getting kind of dark in here. Hopefully this shows up all right. It's already Friday evening. Let's see what we can check out tomorrow. I'm walking around and I found this Lawson tractor. Piqued my interest because it's got the same Midwest engine as the 1525 in my Allis. There's the tag. I know nothing about this tractor. Like I said, just walking around the showgrounds here. And it's actually got the same, just notice this, the same taco air cleaner, air washer.
Sure.
There's the engine tag. It's the same setup. Looks like the same everything as the 1525 tractor. Different governor there. It's like maybe different fan assembly, I think. There's probably lots of little differences because this Midwest engine used a lot of different applications. Looks like almost the same exact manifold, exhaust manifold, probably intake as well. Now that might actually be those parts engines that I got. They have a clutch, that bell housing and stuff on there, at least similar to this. So this might be that application. Just kind of a future note there. If there's any Lawson guys out there looking for parts, I might be able to help you, because those, at least that part of it, doesn't do me any good on the Allis. Just thought I would share that while I was looking at it. It's easy to make notes of this stuff while you're looking at it. Sorry about the rain and everything. It's currently raining here. Quick shot of the back again. That's the cap for the air washer there. And the sight glass. That's kind of clever. Then you can see it right from the operator's platform. Good design.